Sean O'Malley is hoping for Merab to defeat Umar Nurmagomedov at UFC 311 so he can get the rematch with Merab. Sean fought Merab recently at UFC 306 and lost via unanimous decision. Sean said ideally, Merab beats Umar and I get the rematch. But if Umar wins, it'll be Umar. That's what I want next as a title fight. Hopefully mid next year. So the winner of that one, that fight's coming up very, very soon. Merab Dvalishvili discusses the multiple altercations he's gotten into at events. Merab got into it with French fans in the crowd at UFC Paris. He charged a heckler at the Craig Jones grappling event. Merab went off on Sean O'Malley's friend Schmitty prior to UFC Noche, and had another altercation in the crowd at UFC 310 after Aljamain Sterling lost to Movsar Evloev. Merab says that he can take a joke, however he refuses to be disrespected, and also refuses to let his friends be disrespected.
I always like positive, positive energy, and even I look always positive, like I said, I smile and I look positive. I like to bring good positive energy, and we not like we are very open-minded, and I'm okay to make fun of myself. And when somebody
you're good at that,
yeah,
bro.
exactly. And when somebody make fun of me, I'm good. Even I'm not mad. Even some people make. If not disrespect, I can take a joke.
But you're so great at that, but you're a protector on the other side of that.
Right.
So if somebody came in and made fun of Aljo, you protect.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Or you protect the people that are around you. I've seen it. Right? I've seen it.
Yeah.
What's this story?
Yeah.
Well, we'll just say that there was somebody that was being rude to Pedro Munoz's family, and he stepped up and protected Pedro Munoz's family. And I protected, I have to protect him, but we caught the assailant.
When I show up this jiu-jitsu event and everybody, hey, Merab, and one guy screaming from the back, Merab, show me your teddy. Oh, you
gotta go up there.
I hit this, but okay, I look some idiot, I said, okay, come say in my face.
It's justice.
Yeah.
I don't want to fight in the street. I don't want to fight these stupid people, but when I see they disrespect professional fighter or somebody's family or something like this, they have to learn. You teach them. You teach this guy. You cannot do this. You somebody today. Everybody feels like they talking online and they think they can say in your face, but it's not life.
Eddie Alvarez reflects on his loss to Conor McGregor back in 2016. Eddie and Conor fought at UFC 205, and Eddie was TKO'd in the second round. He also discusses his upcoming bare knuckle fight against Jeremy Stephens on January 25th. Speaking to MMAfighting.com, Eddie said there's been one time, and everybody knows the Conor fight, where I went into somewhat near my hometown and I didn't show up. That was probably the one time that really shocked even myself, because throughout my entire career, home or anywhere nearby, whenever that spotlight's on me and whenever the stakes are big, that's when I show up big. On his upcoming fight against Jeremy Stephens, Eddie continued, I'll be able to make it up to my Philadelphia fans. Look, I got my shot at Madison Square Garden. I hated the way I performed. I hated everything about it. But there's only stadium better than Madison Square Garden, and that's the Wells Fargo in Philadelphia. I fought all over the world, Russia, Japan, Tokyo, Costa Rica, all over, and during these moments, I may have had a hiccup or something like that, but in my hometown, Atlantic City, Philadelphia, New York, all these places I usually show up big. I'm looking forward to feeling the spirit of the Philadelphia fans behind me at the Wells Fargo on the 25th of January. It'd be a completely storybook, but I don't think there is any right, perfect way to go out. I'm going to be honest with you, I just don't think there is. I think because it would be saying that one fight would determine your entire career. You can't do that. One fight will never sum up who I am, whether I won or lost it. You can never say that was one big win, you should go now, or that was one big loss, you should go now. I'm defined by the sum of 20 years of fighting, and what I've done and the kind of work I've put into this. You can never sum it up by one fight anyways. So yes, going into the Wells Fargo, shutting it down at the Wells Fargo, 18,000 screaming fans, it would be an absolute storybook to do it at home. But I'll never be defined by one fight, one win, one loss. I'll always be looked at as someone who challenged himself, traveled the entire world, looking for the baddest motherfuckers to fight, and try to become a world champion in whatever promotion I was with. That's what I want to be defined by, not just one singular fight, one singular outing. I started when I was 19. I'm 21 years into this game. I've kept myself healthy. Steroid-free my entire career. I think that's given me longevity. I never had a college wrestling career. That's given me more career longevity. I've taken care of my body. If I had injuries, I would listen to my body and kind of peel back. I wouldn't fight through injuries. There's a couple of things I've done differently than a lot of fighters that allow me to fight so long and have the career I've had. So I just kind of keep things open. Allows me to fight as long as I have. Tom Aspinall attempts to name MMA fighters from each country. Go give Tom a follow on his TikTok. Links in the description.
This is Tom Aspinall and this is Naming Fighters from Each Country, the Americas edition.
Ecuador.
Pass.
5 fighters from Brazil.
Jose Aldo. Oh, this should be really easy, but it isn't. Caio Borrello, the one with the glasses. His mate, Prates, or whatever. He looks good, by the way, but I just don't know him. Carlos Prates, I think. Oh, Alex Pereira. Yeah. Very easy. Pantoja. Yeah, that's 5.
Venezuela.
Veronica Hardy. She's Venezuelan.
Argentina.
I can see his face, but I think he's like represents Brazil and Argentina. But I forget his name. He fought Gunnar Nelson. There was some eye poke thing going on. He's also had a lot of good fights. I can't remember his name.
Canada.
GSP, the great GSP.
Peru.
I don't know. Suriname. Jairzinho Rosenstruck is from there. 5 fighters from USA. This is very easy. Well, at least I thought it was. Jon Jones. Jesus,
this is hilarious.
It's quite hard. I know. I'm usually banging. Jon Jones, Bilal Muhammad. I'm just going champions at the minute. Jamal Hill. Oh my God. Mighty Mouse. This shouldn't be this difficult. Mike Chandler. There's a million US fighters, but for some reason I can't remember. Just edit him, just make it look like I thought of him really quick.
No.
2 fighters from Mexico.
Yeah.
Brandon Moreno.
Yeah.
Jair Rodriguez.
Cuba.
Yo Romero.
Jamaica.
I believe Aljamain Sterling represents Jamaica. Guys, that's terrible. That was probably the worst one I've done. I don't know why. Got some brain fog going today.
Merab's coach Ray Longo thought it was a joke when the UFC announced that Merab was fighting Umar Nurmagomedov. Longo labels it as insanity that Merab took this fight due to the fact that he just fought Sean O'Malley in September. Despite this, Longo thinks that Merab will still absolutely pull off the win.
So Merab Dvalishvili is putting his undisputed UFC bantamweight championship on the line in 19 days, which to me is systematically insane. Now, we have had that conversation already in terms of the decision making and maybe my disagreement with him accepting this fight. What do you have for us on Merab and how you feel now? I mean, you must have an itinerary already to Inglewood. This is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I told you, man, I thought it was a joke when they announced it, because I was out in Vegas with Aljo, and when I saw him, he goes, no, it's for real, but don't worry, everything's good. I'm saying, like, Rob, that's just, I thought it's insanity, but it is what it is. Merab's going to do what Merab's going to do. I think no matter where he is, no matter how much of a camp he has, like, if the other guy wasn't training and they both started at the same time, Merab would be in better shape, because he's always, like, again, I don't think you're not going to deter him. It's enough of a training camp for him, based on what I know, that he's going to be fine. There's no question about it. I just don't think it's right. You know what I mean? There's some guys that can pull it off, and there's some guys that can't. He's definitely a guy that can pull it off. So he's just always going.
Despite many people thinking it will never happen, Conor McGregor once again teased the $250 million boxing match against Logan Paul today. Conor posted this photo of Logan. He wrote $250 million. #I'm coming. This user replied, Michael Chandler trained every day for 2 years just to sit at home and watch Conor McGregor versus Logan Paul fight for more money than he would make in 20 careers. Has anybody checked in on him? Conor also fired back at Khabib Nurmagomedov today after Khabib said that Ireland does not produce nearly as many high-level fighters as Dagestan. Here's what Khabib had to say.
Brother, Ireland don't have fighters, bro. Let's be honest. How many fighters do you know from Ireland? Paul Hughes and Conor, and who else? There is no fighter, brother. You can Dagestan, you can understand. You know, so many organizations, they don't even sign Dagestan fighters because they worry about, like, everybody can become champion, you know. But Dagestan, and let's be honest, Dagestan level of MMA here. But Ireland level, not even half of Dagestan level.
In a series of now deleted posts on X, Conor fired back saying, "And all yous arse lickers around the way, years stood on no ground for your own. Sickening stuff. Look at yous now. You deserve exactly what's there. Not a thing. Nothing. Traitorous bums. The yellow teeths we call you. Pea-brains in a cage. Never speak my name. You are not on my level. We are not the same. I don't represent you or any of you. I represent greatness. The done nothing evers. Hashtag not one thing." He ended it off with loads of Irish fighters licking his arse years. Then he says you are all shite. Hashtag classic. Joe Rogan says that he heard that Jon Jones is asking for $30 million to fight Tom Aspinall, and the UFC is going to pay it. On the Joe Rogan Experience, Joe said, "I think they are trying to come to some sort of an agreement. The rumor is that he wants $30 million, and that the UFC is going to pay. Hopefully. I hope they pay it."
And that's going to wrap it up for the news. Thanks for watching. For daily MMA news and content, subscribe to Full Mount MMA and click the bell icon to be notified when we post videos.
Here are the 3 top comments from last video. The first one's in reference to the footage of Colby Covington giving out food to the homeless. It says, "Colby filming himself is goofy. Don't do things like that for clout. Do it for people that need it. It's nice though." The second one says, "Only person Jamal has knocked out in the last 3 years was his brother at Thanksgiving." And the final one's from Mike. It says, "Jamal losing to Yuri would just be beautiful."
Those were the 3 top comments from last video. If you want to be featured in the next one, all you have to do is comment down below. And if you missed yesterday's news, click the video on screen right now to get caught up.